Hello everyone, you are watching Eagle News International Switzerland edition. I'm Frida Ornario, and in today's show, we will bring you stories from continental Europe and Africa. These are interesting times. For our headlines, Merkel's commitment to close a Brexit deal, German cabinet approves bill to restrict rent increase, and in Zimbabwe, let's see as they welcome 10 endangered white rhinos from Congo. In lifestyle, we taste the traditional Swiss dish, the cheese fondue. Our correspondent Christina Samawang will bring us around the capital city of Finland, Helsinki. And we hop on the fascinating cave tour in Portugal. In sports, coaches here in Europe ask UEFA to evaluate away goals rule. In technology, Inditex seeks to sell their brands in the World Wide Web. During a financial conference in Frankfurt, Angela Merkel said that an intensive trade deal between EU and Britain could be a good foundation. The German Chancellor promises that all our force and creativity to make sure a deal happens. On the other side, Britain has to come to an agreement with the EU without having negative effect on their own economy. Britain also has to consider not anymore having information from the Europol police agency. Europol, however, would still want to share information with Britain, who has one of the world's leading crime-fighting and intelligence agency. Nevertheless, Merkel has high hopes that the EU will still share information with Britain as both have the same security issues. An agreement has to be done by autumn this year as Britain is set to leave the EU by March 29, 2019. Justice Minister Katharina Barley introduced a legislation to restrict rent increases in big cities in Germany, which affects tenants and can lead to issues to the property market. This bill is recently approved by the German cabinet. The new bill will allow tenants to know how much the former tenant is paying and if the increase of the rent is justified by the renovation works done on the property. However, landlords of new or recently renovated property may be exempted. Bundesbank also pointed out that real estate prices in big cities such as Munich, Cologne, Stuttgart, Hamburg, Frankfurt, and Berlin may be 15 to 30% overvalued and may lead to a property bubble, which puts a risk in the financial stability of the country. In 2015, a bill prohibiting more than 10% increase on the local average rent is already passed. Zimbabwe Wildlife Authority is donating 10 white rhinos to Congo to restore endangered race of rhinos due to poachers. In Congo, rhinos used to live in Garamba National Park located by the border of South Sudan. Wildlife protection in Congo is not regulated due to the lack of order and militia violence for 15 years. The Zimbabwean government was happy that the transfer conditions to Congo are of the required standards. Zimbabwe had around 800 black and white rhinos back in 2016 and is one out of 4 countries around the world having white rhinos. Emma Pereira, a spokeswoman for Save the Rhino, a London-based group, claims that moving rhinos from one place to another is essential to ensure good genetic diversity across the population.
Hello, I'm Yvonne Thomas and welcome to our lifestyle segment. Today, I'll be bringing you stories from continental Europe. Here are our today's topics. Let's start in Zurich, Switzerland to learn more about one of Switzerland's national dish, and then head to Finland to experience its capital Helsinki, and end our journey in the south of Europe to discover the beauty of the Algarve coast in Portugal. As many of you may already know, Switzerland is known for delicious cheese and the different ways of how it can be prepared. Today, Kathleen Fanner will show you one of the popular ways of eating cheese in Switzerland.
Grüezi miteinander! It's getting cold here in Europe. For Switzerland, it is the time to eat their national dish, the cheese fondue. The dish was named after the French word fondue, which means melted, and originates from the Western Alps of Switzerland. Fondue became the national dish when it was recorded in the Swiss Army cookbook in the 1950s. The main ingredients are different kinds of cheese, cornstarch, garlic, grinded pepper, and for the alcohol-free version, you can add apple juice.
What's also important is the equipment. The traditional way is to use a so-called kakulon. It is a small pot made specially for fondue, which is then placed on top of a small burner to keep the cheese melted. Fondue is eaten by dipping bread into the cheese with a fondue fork. French baguette is one of the favorite breads to dip into the cheese. Swiss people pair the fondue with other dishes like pearl onions, pickles, olives, corn, or dried meat. One of the great things about eating fondue is that you never eat fondue alone.
If you love cheese, then this will melt your heart away. I'm Kathleen Fanner. I'm one with 25.
So, grab a fondue pot and some friends to enjoy this delicious treat. Thanks, Kathleen. Now, let's stay in Europe where our journey continues in Finland. It is known for long and cold winter months, warm saunas, and the beauty of nature. Today, we will take you to the capital of this beautiful country. Here's Christina Sumawang with the story.
Hi, this is Christina, and this time I am on my way to Helsinki, Finland. Finland is a country in the northern Europe. Come, join me and let's explore this beautiful city. Finland is bordered by the countries of Norway, Sweden, Russia, and also by the Baltic Sea in the south. Finland's southern capital city is Helsinki, which has been since 1812. Helsinki is also the largest city of the country. You can get around the city by bus, tram, or take the northernmost subway in the world, the Helsinki Metro. Just do not forget to buy day tickets that works for all the transportations in the city and allows you to have a less expensive trip too. Because of the city's great designs, it attracted design lovers all over the world, and Helsinki was voted as the World Design Capital for 2012 by the International Council of Societies of Industrial Design. Even though Helsinki is the most populated area in the country, Helsinki is considered as a city of greenery. That is because you can never be far from a park here. Helsinki is also close to the sea and is surrounded by nature. A third of the city consists of parks and other green areas. And if you opt for a closer look at nature sightseeing, Helsinki's city bikes are all over the city. Rent one and do not be shy to ring the bell as you explore this beautiful city. Helsinki is a city with long cold months, and the temperature can drop up to -20 in winter. But a visit in a city with fresh air and warm saunas is a worthy trip. Just like what the Finns say, there's no such thing as bad weather, it's just a matter of proper clothing. This is Christina Sumawang, and I'm always one with 25.
From the cold and freezing weather, let us travel to the south of Europe, where not only the weather is nice and warm, there is more to discover. Here is Jay Tomas showing you the natural wonders of the Algarve coast in Portugal.
Hi guys, we're in Algarve, Portugal. We're taking you to an adventure to the most stunning and beautiful marine caves here in Europe. Let's go! Our adventure today starts in Cave Vasco da Gama in Portimao, Portugal. Many different cave tours are being offered in Algarve. Today, we selected the tour which will lead us to one of the most beautiful natural wonders. The tour begins right after a few safety instructions. On the way to the caves, you will enjoy the stunning views of the cliff coast, as well as the mighty rock formation. The rock of the caves are more than a century old, and this can be seen in the unusual and yet beautiful formation. The tour lasts for about 2 hours and you are taken to 30 different caves and grottos. The tour includes the viewing of a fishing village, diverse landscapes, and also abandoned beaches. Our tour is accompanied by an experienced captain who shows and explains all sites and important cultural scenic points. It is advisable to make a tour with a smaller boat in order to be able to experience the smaller caves. The absolute highlight of the tour is the famous Benajil Cave. It's one of the popular sites in the Algarve. The cave is located at the Playa de Benajil beach and is only accessible by a small boat. The ideal time to go to the cave is when the tide is low, because the boats are able to penetrate much deeper into the cave. The rock formations, which were carved by nature with the opening in the ceiling, is absolutely breathtaking. During daytime, the light shines through the opening and makes the cave shine in gold. I hope you enjoyed our cave tour here in Algarve, Portugal today. I'm Jay Tomas and I'm 1 with 25.
Thanks, Jay. I hope you enjoyed our stories and will join us again next time for more lifestyle news from continental Europe and Africa. I'm Yvonne Tomas and I am 1 with 25.
Hi, I'm Erby Ordinario, bringing you sports and technology news. In a football match, when the aggregate score is tied during a knockout round, the winner is determined by the away goal rule. Top football clubs in Europe are requesting UEFA to review the use of the away goal rule, as scoring a goal away from home is much easier than it used to be.
Giorgio Marchetti, who is UEFA's Deputy General Secretary, confirmed that the European soccer body would open a discussion on the use of the away goal rule. A meeting, which is held annually, included many known football players and trainers like Jose Mourinho or Arsene Wenger. Marchetti told reporters that the coaches think the scoring goals away is not as difficult as it was in the past, so they think the rules should be reviewed, and that's what we will do. They consider the situation in football has changed and the weight of away goals is not the same as many years ago when the rule was introduced. As an alternative to tossing a coin, the rule was first introduced in 1965 during the former European Cup Winners' Cup competition. Back then, it was a huge challenge to play away in Europe, as it involved difficult traveling and facing unfamiliar conditions abroad, which compared to today is seen as a routine.
By 2020, Inditex, owner of Zara, Pull&Bear, Massimo Dutti, and Bershka, would sell all the said brands online, even in countries where they are not physically present. Currently, the brands are available online in 49 markets and run 7,500 shops.
Chief Executive Pablo Isla said, "We want to make our fashion collections available to all our customers wherever they are in the world, even in those markets which do not currently have our bricks and mortar stores." The Spanish company Inditex started off in the 1980s with the idea of fast fashion concept. Meanwhile, they are developing new technologies by working together with tech firms and trying out innovative ways of handling their stocks. Last year, Inditex online merchandise soared by 41%, making online sales 10% of the company's net sales, while H&M online sales is close to 12% of company's net sales.
That is all for today's sports and technology news. I am Abby Ordinario and I am 1 with 25.
That is today's Eagle News International Switzerland edition. Thank you for watching. Join us again next time as we bring news that matters to you.